Hello. It's night time again, as you can tell. I think it's a better video. The light's better with the video, so I'm trying to look at the camera today, hopefully. What an adventurous time we're all having. I've had actually 3 very sweet little stories, and I thought it was a nice change from the last one, which is a bit doer, as they say. So I've got 3 nice little stories. The first one is about my daughter, which I know a lot of you know the dramas I've had, and I sort of come to rest with it almost really after 3 years. But it was very sweet. As you know, I had a little TIA, which is a mini stroke. That was about 6 months ago. If I did, I don't know. And I'm not in touch with my daughter, as you know. So it was her daughter's birthday when I sent a birthday card with a little letter inside and just mentioned this thing. It was a way of telling my daughter, I suppose. I didn't get anything back. I didn't expect anything at all. And it was really odd because I've been thinking about it, that I think she should know, really. So how do I, should she? I don't know. It's a very complicated thing, isn't it, family? So anyway, I was on the internet the other day and on YouTube, and I love those little shorts that come up. They don't take much watching, do they? And there's one that appeared, and it was the lady with the tarot reader, and she had, I think it was 3 or 4 cards, and she said, "I've got a message for you from someone you love." Oh, I thought, should I? What? I tend to not believe all these things. I tend to But anyway, I thought I'll give it a go. And she threw the first card down. She said, "This is from somebody you love." And the second card down, "She does love you, but she can't be with you." The third one was thrown down. "She wants you to be happy." Now, I'm sure you would think the same. I mean, it couldn't have been anybody, or it could have been somebody else, but the words, the phraseology that she can't be with you, I thought, no, she can't be. She's in another country, the other side of the world. But she's obviously thinking, and she's into this mindfulness thing, so she's obviously a very spiritual girl as well. So I think at some level, Spirit have picked up this concern and made a message out of it and put it in on YouTube. How clever. I keep thinking about it. I'm thinking, the reader hasn't been on since. It was just one of those one-off things, you know. And it was really helpful for me. Really, really helpful. I know that at some level, she does care. She does care. She can't be with me, as she says, and she does love me and all the stuff. And she's always said, "Mum, I want you to be happy." So at some level, it feels like somebody said many thousands of years ago, "It is finished," and I felt that this had finally finished. It was okay at some level. It was okay. I'd accepted that she couldn't be there. She's acknowledged that, and we're kind of at the status quo thing, and it's fine. It really has helped me to accept the situation, not to fight it anymore. That lovely. And the next little story, it'll make you laugh, this one. You know, I have a food delivery from Sainsbury, so I'll write that down because obviously this is not a worldwide thing. They're a food company, a food supermarket, and they do deliveries. You pick out your stuff online and you let them know what you want, they deliver it, and you pay by credit card or whatever. And they do charge a bit for delivery, but it's worth it for me because I can't go supermarket shopping anymore, though I like to pick my own bits. Of course, when it comes, it's always something that's not quite right, or they misunderstood something, but generally it's very helpful. I think, oh, thank God they're coming tomorrow, you know, well, I don't ever run out of bread. I've got my bread maker. I've got a new freezer as well, which is very handy because I can put stuff. I've got 3 pizzas in there, so I can always find something to eat, which I couldn't before because I was very limited. So anyway, I knew the man was coming on Sunday, it was very early. I think they must have got the timing once, about 9 o'clock or something. I had a job to get up. Anyway, the doorbell went, and there he was. They have 2 great boxes full of food. They carry 2 at the same time, and they're really strong. And they come in and they shuffle into the kitchen, and they unload it onto the surface for me. We have a little laugh, and off they go again. So anyway, this chap came in, he's really had a lovely smile, a really lovely smile. And I was in a bit of a state about the dentist again. I was getting a little bit frustrated about it all, so I'm not looking at the camera, sorry. Anyway, I'm sure you don't mind. And he came in the doorway. I said, "Don't worry, I'm in a bit of a state." He said, "Anything I can help you with?" I thought, oh, yes, please. So I said, "Yes, you can. You can give me a hug." bless him. He put his boxes down and he came over to me, put his arms all around me, and a great big squeeze. I mean, it was the most spontaneous thing I've ever received in my life. And from a man, well, I can't remember the last time a man gave me a hug. And it was so sweet and so spontaneous and so genuine. It's just, I can't describe how it made me feel. It wasn't a sexual thing, it was just a warm, just a hug. And we went into the kitchen and had a little laugh, you know, and he was telling me where he was from, and just a brief chat, you know, helped me unpack stuff. And on the way out, he looked at me again, he said, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" Can you imagine what I said? I looked at him, I said, "Well, I expect for a married man." And with that, he gave me the most beautiful smile and shot out the door. It was just one of those moments, what I call it flirty moments. You exchange with somebody a good laugh, a sincere, heartfelt. I thought, well, I wondered if he's one of those soul groups. I think we're coming together with people that we feel familiar with, aren't we? I had a similar thing the other day with a driver. I have a driver to take me places now. I can't, well, I can drive, but I can't walk or stuff. And this was a very nice young man. Well, I suppose he's in his 50s maybe. And we talked all the way. Well, I talked all the way. They sit there and drive and I'm talking. It's about 15 miles where we go to Laos. And I had a nice little chat. He told about his daughters and everything else. I'm going to look at the bottom here. Something's, I don't get really concerned. They start putting notices up. Oh, was I somebody? The election. I daren't look at it. I hate it. So anyway, I was having this little chat and got back, and he was very sweet. Again, very sweet and kind. And I got to the door and I looked at him, and I think for a very brief moment, and I think he may have felt the same. I thought I wanted to kiss him goodbye. It was that deep, heartfelt connection. I thought, it wasn't a sexual thing, it was just a connection with this human being, you know, that I really, I wouldn't fancied him per se, but it was a very strange feeling. I think it was a soul feeling. I think I'm beginning to meet people, maybe you are too, that we're familiar with, that we belong with, that we feel safe with. So that was the second one, but that was some time ago. Oh, the third one was at the dentist. This saga of a dentist. I found another one that doesn't charge £200 for an extraction, but only £150. So she went through the same sort of thing, same sort of expenses, or one after another. But she can save this one. The other dentist, I wanted to take that out. It's on its way out. Take it out. I thought, if I've got to sit here with a gap, I couldn't do it. So anyway, she's managed to save it. So that's worth every penny, isn't it? So she's got all these teeth. I'm going to go next week, no, week after, for an extraction. The other tooth is caught up in the roof of my mouth. She's going to have to dig it out. Can you imagine? Anyway, so I went to this dentist, and I knew there were steps outside. Now the driver dropped me outside, just on the pavement there, so I hadn't got a lot of walking to do, but I knew there were steps. I didn't know how steep the steps, and I'm still not. I can't describe it. My muscular system really hasn't got a lot of energy, so I'm really struggling all the time. I got this special walking stick, and I got to the steps, and I thought there's three. They were like pyramid steps. You know, those big blocks of pyramids are made out of. They weren't steps. They were blocks. I just looked at it and thought, I can't do this, not with a walking stick. And I don't know if I panicked. I had time to panic. This voice behind me said, "Are you all right?" Now, I feel quite emotional about it, because I just feel he could have been an angel. He was such a helpful, kind man. He caught hold of my arm and he helped me up these steps, and he watched over me for the next half hour or so. I couldn't believe it. I was struggling to even walk, so he was holding on, and when we got to the waiting room, he came and sat on the other side of me, and it was his turn, I think, after mine. And when I came out, he was still there. I said, "Oh," I said, "you're waiting for me?" And we had a laugh. He said, "Yes." And he got up and he helped me out the door, helped me. Oh, he said, "There's a back entrance for disabled access." I said, "Well, I haven't got a wheelchair, not yet. I'm still managing with my sticks, you know." And so he helped me down these steps and waited for the car, who just arrived not long after. I just couldn't thank him enough. I mean, it was more than helpful. It was more than helpful. It was his whole self. He put into the situation, and he was there for me. So I think my I don't know, my feelings for the male species are being somewhat restored. And do you know, I wonder if that's what illness is all about. I've often done videos on this and I've had a lot of deep thought on it. I think illness, and I'm sure you've read it, it's a reason. It's not just happening. It's not. And Dolores Cannon, is it? She's got a way of getting rid of it. I don't think we have to get rid of it. My personal view is to teach us something. And this illness is teaching me to restore my faith in humanity, because I've not had a good time, as you know. I think it's to restore my faith in people and helpfulness, particularly the male species. I think I've mistreated them. It's not a one-sided thing, but I'm going to just look at the colour of the thing. I think it's going to be quite a short video today because I'm still pretty tired, but it was just, I don't know, I'm still thinking about it, that someone should give themselves that much for a stranger, because I was a stranger, and he actually just came in time. And I think also before I got to this thing, I did ask for help, and I do find when I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And when I say that, I do seem to get the extra burst just to get me somewhere, you know. It does work. Or somebody turns up, and it may be an angel. God can do that. The angels can turn up. They're people. They come in disguise as people. I have got to tell you another story. Oh, yes. So that was the other story for my personal thing, but many years ago, and it is a long time ago, about 10-15 years ago, I was in Lincoln, which is my big city nearby, and there's something called Steep Step. It's this very steep top, at the top of which is the cathedral and the shops. It's a lovely area, lots of nice shops, bookshops and stuff, you know. And I was just, there's a wide bit there where you've got the bookshops here and a few spaces for parking, and I think there's a Jew's house this way. And I was on my own. I was just standing in this space, wondering what I was doing there, really. Suddenly, this car opposite began to move backwards, because he was coming down towards me. Well, I really can't remember how I felt at the time, but I knew I had to stop it, and I put my hand out to stop the great big car tumbling down the hill, because had it gone right down the hill, it had gone through the high street and the whole of Lincolnshire town. So I put this hand out. I couldn't have stopped it, obviously, but it was my reaction, you know. And just after that, two more very strange people appeared by my side. Now, they were strange. When angels come in disguise, they do actually look quite weird. It's an excuse for a lot of people. But they stood there. I just felt that they'd come to help me. He got his mobile phone out, which is quite odd. And within minutes, I had a blank moment. Within minutes, everything was okay. The car had gone, they had gone. I thought, what was that all about? What was it all about? The man had obviously been contacted somehow, and he'd left his handbrake off, or slightly off, got the car rescued, took it back, the angels went, and I was thinking, have I just had a dream? I'm going to have a sip of tea. Hang on a minute. So there we are, darlings. Hope in the invisible, you might say, which I think we all need to have at the moment, don't we? I'm losing mine a bit. I must admit, this last few days has been helpful, but I don't want to say I lose faith, but I'm questioning so much at the moment. I was talking about illness, wasn't I? That the illness, I can't explain what the illness is like. Nobody knows, but I think it's a God-given. You see, it's very hard to understand that, isn't it? But I do feel there's something coming at me. It's not within me. It's not part of my thing, because every now and then I get a little burst of healing. I thought, well, they obviously can heal it. Why aren't they healing the whole thing? Get me back driving my car, or had my car MOT when it came back. I hit a pothole in a road leading off across the country. This car was coming straight for me. He wasn't going to pull over, so I had to, and clunk. I thought, oh no, I've done a spring in, which I had. It was going for its MOT. It went for its MOT. And the chap said, sorry, you've got a spring on the right, whenever. Gone. I knew it had shock absorber thing. So we can't let you have it back for a week. Got to order it. And here I am in my little bungalow with the space outside for a car. It's my only lifeline. It's my life. If I see my car missing, my life's over, if you know what I mean. Even though I'm not driving it, it's there. It's my saving freedom, if you like. So anyway, It went, he had it there in the garage ready for his MOT. It couldn't pass. And I think 3 days went by. He said, "I have it next week." Next week? Got to get through the weekend with no car. Not that I'm driving, but it's to my friend. So anyway, suddenly I looked out the window on Saturday night and thought, my car's back. My car was back. Nobody said that the guys bring it back for me, put the key on a latch, and they brought the car back. Obviously, he found a spring from somewhere, mended it, passed the MOT. Yes, it had passed. I thought that's another miracle. So I had lots of, and the illness thing I was saying, I think I've had a very, very slight improvement because I faced something. I faced something that was this. Well, it's not a fear of men, but I love men. I do, you can tell. But I've always seemed to pick the wrong ones. And all these things that we're going through, all of us are going through, is a very deep, profound teaching, I think, of past lives. I can't have another drink. You're going to go, probably. That's enough to go. So it's all acknowledging what the healing, what the teaching, what the illness is teaching us to go deep within. Why have I got this? And I think that's the purpose of it all. I'm going to go, darling, so I'm getting a bit dry again. So anyway, whatever's gone on for you, 60 teeth. I'm still smiling anyway. Take care. God bless.